There is a quality in certain people that bypasses every defense you have carefully constructed. Not through force, not through argument, not through the kind of obvious persuasion that activates skepticism and puts the rational mind on alert. It's through something softer, something that arrives before the defenses have time to assemble, that operates in the space between first impression and conscious assessment, in the warmth of a specific quality of attention, in the precise and inexplicable feeling of being in the presence of someone who genuinely delights in you. A charm. The word itself sounds benign, almost trivial. Social grace, a pleasant quality, something that makes interactions easier and people more enjoyable to be around. Robert Greene knew better. He understood charm the way a surgeon understands anatomy, not as something decorative, but as something operational. It's a system with specific components, specific mechanisms, and specific effects on the psychology of the person receiving it. It's one of the most precisely engineered influence tools available to the human organism, and one of the most dangerous, precisely because its danger is invisible beneath its pleasantness. What Greene knew about charm that most people never understand is this: at its highest level of deployment, charm is not a personality trait. It is a discipline. And the line between its genuine expression and its strategic application is so thin, so deliberately, carefully thin, that even the most perceptive observer cannot reliably locate it. That is not an accident. That is the architecture. Greene's analysis of charm across his work, most explicitly in The Art of Seduction, but threaded through the 48 Laws with equal precision, identified it as the managed creation of a specific psychological state in another person. Not attraction in the simple sense, something more structural than that. The state of feeling, in the presence of a specific person, that you are more interesting, more alive, more significant than you ordinarily experience yourself to be. That the world has contracted pleasantly to the dimensions of this interaction. That the person before you sees something in you that most people have missed, and that their seeing it makes it more real. This state is not manufactured through compliment. Compliment is too visible, too easily identified as a social transaction. What Greene identified as genuine charm operates through a quality of attention so complete, so unhurried, so apparently free of agenda that it produces the state as a natural consequence rather than an obvious goal. The charming person is not trying to make you feel significant. They appear to simply find you so. That appearance, that seamless, effortless quality of genuine delight in your presence, is precisely what makes the distinction between charm as personality and charm as instrument so operationally impossible to locate from the inside. Greene understood that the most effective charm operates through a specific inversion of the ordinary social dynamic. Most people, in social interaction, are managing their own impression, monitoring how they are being perceived, adjusting their presentation in real time based on the feedback they are reading in the other person's responses. Their attention, however skillfully concealed, is fundamentally self-directed. The charming person, operating at the level Greene studied, has inverted this entirely. Their attention is genuinely, completely, almost disturbingly directed outward. At you, at the specific texture of your experience, your humor, your intelligence, your way of moving through the world. They are not monitoring themselves. They are monitoring you, with a quality of interest so complete that it registers not as surveillance, but as the most flattering thing a human being can offer another. To be truly seen. To be genuinely interesting to someone with the discernment to know the difference. This inversion is what produces the indistinguishability Greene identified, because genuine attention and strategic attention feel identical from the receiving end. The neurological and psychological response to being genuinely delighted in and being skillfully made to feel delighted in are, for all practical purposes, the same response. The charm that is entirely authentic and the charm that is entirely instrumental produce the same warmth, the same lowering of defenses, the same reorganization of the interaction around the charming person's gravitational field. And this Greene was precise about this. It's what makes charm at its highest expression not merely pleasant but genuinely dangerous, not because it is always deployed with harmful intent, but because its effects are identical whether the intent is present or absent. The influence operates regardless of the motivation behind it. Greene's most sophisticated insight about charm was not that it is deceptive in the ordinary sense of the word. Deception implies falsehood, the deliberate substitution of something untrue for something true. And most genuinely charming people are not lying. The delight they appear to take in you is often real. The attention they offer is often genuine. The warmth is not fabricated. What makes it indistinguishable from deception is something more structural than intent. It is the systematic asymmetry it creates between what you know about them and what they know about you. The charming interaction feels mutual, feels like an exchange, feels like two people genuinely meeting in a shared space of warmth and interest. But the information flow is almost entirely unidirectional. You have revealed your priorities, your humor, your insecurities, your desires, your way of needing to be seen, all of it offered freely and gladly in the warmth of feeling genuinely received. They have revealed what they chose to reveal, carefully, selectively, in precise service of the impression they are constructing, not through lying but through the strategic management of what is made visible and what remains beneath the surface of the interaction. This asymmetry is the deception that isn't, not a lie, a structural imbalance, a conversation that felt like genuine mutual exchange and functioned as a comprehensive intelligence operation, one side of which you participated in entirely without awareness. Greene studied this, not to condemn it, but to illuminate it. Gaze, the person who understands the mechanics of charm, who can recognize the specific quality of attention that is being directed at them, and ask what it is in service of, has not lost the ability to be charmed. They have simply added a second layer of perception beneath the first. The warmth is still felt. The pleasure of the interaction is still real. But beneath it, quietly, a different question is running. The question Greene's framework points toward is not, is this person charming me deliberately? That question is unanswerable from the inside of the interaction, and the pursuit of it will only convert every pleasant exchange into an exercise in paranoia that costs you more than the charm ever could. The question worth asking is structural, not about intent, but about effect. After the interaction, after the warmth has settled and the specific pleasantness of the exchange has faded to its ordinary temperature, what do you know about them that you didn't know before, and what do they know about you? Map the asymmetry, not with suspicion, with the cool, architectural curiosity of someone who has learned to read information flow rather than emotional atmosphere. If the exchange was mutual, if the warmth moved in both directions, and the knowing was genuinely shared, that asymmetry will be minimal. The interaction was what it felt like. The warmth moved primarily toward you while the knowing moved primarily toward them. If you emerged from the interaction feeling seen while they emerged knowing, then you have located the mechanics Greene spent his career illuminating. Not the villain, not the conspiracy, simply the structure. Charm at its highest expression is indistinguishable from genuine human warmth because it is built from the same materials. The difference is not in the feeling it produces. It is in the question of who benefits from the imbalance it quietly, pleasantly, entirely, comfortably creates. You now have the framework to feel the difference, not to become cold, not to become defended, but to remain in the warmth of every interaction that seeks to disarm you, precisely, quietly, entirely yourself. That is the only protection charm cannot dissolve, 'cause it was never designed for someone who was already paying attention. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for visiting the underground. Until next time.